Hello teachers and studio owners, welcome to another edition of the Spectacle Blue Aerial Dance Teacher Tip Tuesday. I know that right now we are headlong into competition season, and if we haven't already started to think about it, it's definitely in the back of our minds. What are we doing with Recital this year? When it comes to Recital and aerial programming, I know that we come across a few bumps in the road sometimes. One of the things that we tend to come across is the theater that we rent for our recitals. Sometimes they do not allow us to rig. So sometimes they are not allowing us to rig because that's just their policy. And sometimes it's because their theater is not actually riggable for a human load. So if you have a theater and they let you hang your props and your set pieces, but they won't allow you to hang your aerialists, it's not always just because they're being jerks that are hard to work with. Quite often it is because they are not rated for the load capacity of a human dancer, and so it's a totally different weight calculation for an inanimate object than it is for a person. And so those of you who have taken my course, we will have talked about that, and those of you who have not, just keep in mind there is a really big difference in load capacity between a live dancer and a prop. So if you're bumping up against that with your theater owners, that could be what your problem is, and that's not something that any amount of negotiation is going to fix. The other thing is, if you have a theater that will allow you to rig, they are going to require you, most likely, to have a certified rigger. They usually have one that they contract, or they have one in-house, which is great. The issue with that is an extra expense that will not come generally with your theater rental. So that's an extra expense. You will have to pay them for the rig in, and then you have to pay them for the rig out. And sometimes, depending on the theater, they make you pay for them to be on call in case they're needed throughout your entire event. So that can turn into a pricey extra expenditure when I know recitals are already super expensive. We've got theater rental, we've got ticket printing prices, we've got, it's the time of year where we're giving away scholarships, and we've got our trophy costs, and we've got all of these extra awards, and we have staff and everybody's there, so we're paying them that fee as well. I know that recitals are very, very expensive. So sometimes that added cost of having to have a rigger is just pushing us over the edge. So before we completely cut out the idea of having aerial at our recital because of either one of those things, I wanted to take today to talk about one option for including aerial into your recital that doesn't add those costs and can also be a really, really interesting way to add aerial and can be super fun for your students. It's also a great way to have different disciplines working together and different levels and different age groups working together. And what I'm talking about is using video to do the aerial portion of your recital. Most theaters will allow you to project. I think most of us are already. We're either projecting our logo or we put names up when students win awards. And usually the technicians for that are more than happy to project some video if that's what you need them to do at no extra charge, and it's really easy. So I'm not talking about just videoing in the studio and then putting it up there and we all sit and watch it. I'm talking about using it in a little bit more creative way and having your video and your dancers, live dancers on the stage, working together to tell a story or to tell whatever it is that you're trying to tell with your recital based on your theme. If you're a theme kind of person, I'm a theme girl, but and it can be super interesting. So, for example, 2 years ago, we produced Coraline as one of our big shows here at my studio. And I'm super lucky because I have a big space and I can hang all my equipment. But we still wanted to use the projection because it was such an interesting way to have our live dancers and our aerialists working together without the aerialists being on stage with us. And we were also to make our aerialists a little more ethereal and larger than life, and it created some super interesting imagery. And you can have dance happening while the aerial's happening, you could have tableaus, you can have acting. they can really be interacting with one another. And what a great challenge for your dancers to figure out how to interact not just with each other on the stage, but also how to interact with these video projections. And it can be so interesting to watch that relationship build, and really, really fun as a choreographer because it's something we don't often get to do. So when we did our production of Coraline and we did this work, I was very lucky. I had a professional videographer who's a part of our team, Gibbs Photography. Yay, shout out to Chris Gibbs. Thanks for everything you do for us, Chris. But it's not a necessity to have that happen. You can take your video camera that you use on the regular basis at the studio for recording and watching rehearsals and logging all your stuff, and use that and download it into your computer. If you're a Mac user, Macs usually come with iMovie, and if it doesn't come with it, you can download iMovie onto your Mac. It's a free app for your computer, which has all kinds of awesome options. It's got filters, it's got ways of transitioning, you can put text over top, you can do so many things with iMovie. If you're not a Mac user, I know that PC has all kinds of similar apps. And all of these things are really easy to use. They're plug and play. You can muck around with them and create all kinds of stuff. You can overlay sound if you want to, whether it's recorded sound, whether you want to do voiceovers. The opportunities are endless, and it's not really that complicated to use. I'm not particularly techie, and I've managed to figure out pretty easily how to use iMovie, so I feel like it's one of those things that if not techie Robin over here can do it, you guys can do it, and you guys are pretty good with technology. All of you I know are in there with your sound editing programs, editing your sound and making it sound seamless with your transitions. So if you can make that happen, you're going to be able to use a video editing program without any trouble. So you don't need to have a professional. You can use your own video camera, and you can use your own apps on your computer to make magical video edits that you can use in your recital. So before we throw away the idea of having aerial at our recital because our theater won't allow it or a theater can't handle it, think about using this option. It's a really, really fun way. And then, it's more for your aerial students than just a sneak a peek week with parents, which is great. We do tons of sneak a peek weeks here at our studio as well, because it's great for the parents to come in and see what they're working on. But being able to still have your aerial programming, get costumes, get makeup, be a real part of the show is awesome. And if you are still growing your aerial program, I think we probably all are trying to grow our programs all the time. What a great way to showcase that to your entire school. Some of the students and parents who might have been hesitant to join for whatever reason are now going to see what amazing artistry you've been able to create with your aerial program, and that they still get to participate with the entire studio in all of the performances. They're not left behind because they're in the aerial program. It's a great integration tool for all of your different levels, having your senior students with your junior students. There's just, the opportunities are endless. So I encourage you to think about using video as a way to incorporate your aerial into your recital, and not just as a standalone piece, but as an integration with some of your other numbers. It's really fun. It's a great challenge for students. It's a great creative opportunity for us as choreographers to stretch our, creative bones a little bit, and it's really, really fun. So I hope that some of you give that a try. If you have any questions about video editing or you're looking for someone, feel free to contact me. I can do my very best to help you out. And if you do, I would love to see some of what you create. I think it would be terrific. I think this is such a great tool, and I would love it if you would share some of that with me. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope I got the wheels a-spinning and I got the creative juices flowing. And if you are a competitive studio, good luck in competition season, and drink lots of water and eat your salads, because we know it can be stressful and really long days. And I wish you nothing but the best for you, your dancers, and your studios. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye for now. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope you got something out of today's teacher content tip. If you're looking for some of our other tips, you can head to our website at www.spectacleblue.ca. Click on the link for teacher training. All the videos are there at the bottom for you. Stay connected with us. You can subscribe to our newsletter at www.spectacleblue.ca. You'll get these weekly videos sent directly to your inbox. Go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We are Spectacle Blue. Follow us on Facebook at Spectacle Blue Studios or on Instagram at Spectacle Blue. And if you want to know more about growing or starting your very own aerial program at your studio, I'd love to help you. Just contact me at info@spectacleblue.ca. Thanks. Bye for now.